Admiral Dae-ho Kim stood at the window of his command center, looking out at the stars. To anyone watching from space, Earth looked like any other quiet planet. No bright city lights, no space stations, no signs of advanced life. The blue and high, green world spun slowly, hidden behind what aliens called natural energy fields. They had no idea how wrong they were. Dae-ho had been protecting this secret for 20 years. Earth was not the simple world it appeared to be. Behind the invisible barrier that surrounded their solar system, humanity had built wonders that would shock the galaxy, but they had chosen to stay hidden, to watch and learn before revealing themselves to the universe. "Admiral," came a voice behind him. Dr. Soman Park walked into the command center carrying a datapad. She was Earth's top expert on alien life, though she had never met an alien face-to-face. For decades, she had studied their languages, their cultures, and their technologies from a distance. "We have new intelligence from the outer sensors." Dae-ho turned from the window. "What have you found?" So-min touched her datapad, and a holographic display appeared in the air between them. It showed a map of nearby star systems with small dots representing alien ships. "The Galactic Confederation is moving more ships toward our region of space. Their patrol routes are getting closer to our solar system." The Galactic Confederation was what the aliens called their government. 12 different alien species worked together, controlling most of the galaxy. To them, Earth was listed as a Category 7 primitive civilization. This meant humans were considered too backward to be worth their time. Dae-ho preferred it that way. "How close are they getting?" Dae-ho asked. "Their nearest patrol route now passes within 2 light years of our outer planets," So-min replied. "Captain Woo-jin Lee has been tracking them in his stealth ship. He says they show no interest in our system, but we need to be ready," Dae-ho finished. He had always known this day would come. Humanity could not stay hidden forever. "What do we know about their current patrol strength?" So-min waved her hand and the display changed to show detailed images of alien ships. "Standard patrol formation: 1 command cruiser, 3 escort ships, and a science vessel. About 800 alien crew members total. They represent the Sektar Empire, one of the more aggressive members of the Confederation." Dae-ho studied the images. The alien ships were large and powerful, but they used old technology. Energy shields, plasma weapons, and basic faster-than-light drives. The kind of equipment that had not changed much in the alien galaxy for thousands of years. Humanity had taken a very different path. "Any signs they have detected our outer monitoring stations?" Dae-ho asked. "None. Our quantum sensors remain completely invisible to their equipment. They have no idea we have been watching them for over 2 centuries. This was humanity's greatest advantage. While the aliens thought Earth was primitive, human scientists had been secretly studying alien technology for generations. They had learned how alien sensors worked, how their ships moved, and how their weapons functioned. More importantly, humans had developed completely different technologies that aliens could not detect or understand. The command center door opened again, and Captain Woo-jin Lee entered. His stealth reconnaissance ship had just returned from a mission deep in alien space. Lee was one of the few humans who had actually seen alien worlds up close, though the aliens had never seen him. "Admiral Dr. Park," Lee nodded to both of them. "I have new information about Confederation fleet movements. Something has changed." Dae-ho gestured for Lee to continue. "The Sektar are planning a major expansion into this region of space. They are not just patrolling anymore. They are looking for new worlds to claim for their empire. My ship intercepted their communications. They have marked several star systems for evaluation and possible integration." So-min looked worried. "Does that include our solar system?" Lee nodded slowly. "Sol system is on their list. They think we might have useful mineral resources. The good news is that they still believe we are primitive. They expect to find humans using simple rockets and basic computers." Dae-ho smiled grimly. If only the aliens knew the truth. Hidden throughout Earth's solar system were defense platforms that looked like asteroids and space debris. Human cities existed in multiple dimensions invisible to normal sensors. Earth's population was not the few million that aliens estimated, but over 10 billion people living in advanced cities that existed slightly outside normal space-time. When do you estimate they will arrive for this evaluation? Deho asked. Based on their current movements, I would say within 6 months, Lee replied. They are gathering ships and preparing for what they call a standard integration operation. Somin touched her data pad again. Admiral, perhaps it is time to consider revealing ourselves diplomatically. We could make contact before they arrive with hostile intentions. Deho had considered this option many times, but humanity had learned much about the Galactic Confederation over the centuries. They were not cruel, but they were arrogant. They believed their way was the only way. Any species that joined the Confederation had to follow their rules, use their technology, and accept their authority. Advanced civilizations were given more respect, but they were still expected to submit to Confederation control. The Confederation does not negotiate with species they consider primitive, Deho said. If we reveal ourselves gradually, they will assume we found some ancient alien technology. They will demand we turn it over to them for proper galactic management. Lee nodded in agreement. I have observed their integration operations before. They are not violent, but they are overwhelming. They arrive with massive fleets to intimidate new species into submission. Resistance is considered a sign of dangerous instability. Deho walked back to the window and looked out at Earth. Somewhere below, children were playing in parks that existed in folded space-time. Scientists were working on technologies that could manipulate matter at the quantum level. Engineers were building ships that could phase in and out of normal reality. Humanity had achieved wonders that the galaxy had never seen. Continue monitoring their movements, Deho ordered. Alert all defense platforms to increase their readiness levels, and send a message to the Council. Tell them it may be time to drop the veil. As Lee and Somin left to carry out their orders, Deho remained at the window. For 300 years, humanity had chosen patience over aggression, development over conquest. Soon they would discover if that choice had been wise. The galaxy was about to learn that Earth was not the quiet, primitive world it appeared to be. The stars looked the same as always, but Deho knew that everything was about to change. Commander Vexithari of the Sektar Empire stood on the bridge of his flagship, studying the primitive solar system ahead. His reptilian features showed satisfaction as he reviewed the intelligence reports. The third planet from the star showed signs of a basic civilization, but nothing that would require serious attention. All ships maintain formation, Vexithari ordered through his communication device. His voice carried the authority of someone who had claimed dozens of worlds for the Confederation. Standard integration protocol. We will demonstrate Confederation strength, accept their surrender, and begin the civilizing process. Behind him, his fleet moved through space like hunting predators. 3 massive dreadnoughts, each 1 kilometer long, accompanied by 30 escort vessels. It was enough firepower to destroy an entire world, though Vexithari rarely needed to use such extreme measures. Most primitive species surrendered quickly when they saw the overwhelming power of the Confederation. On Earth, Lieutenant Hyun-A Choi watched her sensor displays with growing concern. She was the first human to detect the approaching alien fleet, and the readings were disturbing. Admiral Deho, we have multiple contacts entering the solar system. Configuration matches Sektar battle formation. Admiral Deho Kim arrived in the command center within minutes. General Boram Shin was already there studying tactical displays. She had spent 30 years preparing Earth's defenses for this exact moment. How many ships? Deho asked. 33 vessels total, Hyun-A reported. 3 dreadnought-class ships. The rest are cruisers and support vessels. They are moving directly toward Earth at standard approach speed. General Boram touched a control, and the command center's main display showed the alien fleet. They are not trying to hide. This is a show of force, designed to intimidate us into immediate surrender. Engineer Tae-Min Kang entered the command center, carrying a portable computer. He was responsible for many of humanity's most advanced weapons, though the aliens had no idea such technology existed. Admiral, all defense platforms are ready. The enemy ships are using standard Confederation sensor arrays. They cannot detect our installations. Deho nodded. Throughout the solar system, hundreds of weapons platforms waited in perfect concealment. They looked like asteroids, comets, and space debris to alien sensors. In reality, they were the most advanced military technology humanity had ever created. "Sir," Yune called out, "the alien flagship is sending a communication. It is addressed to the primitive inhabitants of the third planet. Put it on the main screen," Deho ordered. Commander Vexathari's image appeared, his reptilian features arranged in what his species considered a friendly expression. To humans, he looked like a predator preparing to strike. "Inhabitants of the world you call Earth," Vexathari began. "I am Commander Vexathari of the Galactic Confederation. Your world has been selected for integration into our civilization. This is a great honor for your species. You will benefit from advanced technology, galactic trade, and protection from the dangers of space." The alien commander paused, clearly, expecting a response of gratitude and submission. "However," Vexathari continued, "integration requires your complete cooperation. You must surrender control of your world to Confederation authorities. Your primitive weapons and technology will be replaced with proper galactic equipment. Your leaders will be educated in proper governance. Those who resist this generous offer will be considered enemies of galactic peace." General Boram looked at Admiral Deho. Standard Confederation integration speech. They have used the same words on dozens of worlds. Deho stepped forward to the communication console. For 300 years, no human leader had spoken directly to alien representatives. Today, that would change. "Commander Vexathari," Deho said calmly, "I am Admiral Deho Kim, representing the people of Earth. We appreciate your offer, but we must decline. Earth wishes to remain independent." On the alien flagship, Vexathari was surprised. Most primitive species either surrendered immediately or made angry threats they could not back up. This human spoke with calm confidence, as if he actually had choices in the matter. "Admiral Kim," Vexathari replied, his voice becoming harder, "I do not think you understand the situation. The Galactic Confederation has the power to destroy your entire world. We prefer peaceful integration, but we will use force if necessary. You have 1 hour to reconsider your answer." The communication ended. In the command center, all the human officers looked at their admiral. They had trained for this moment, but now that it was here, the reality felt overwhelming. They were about to fight the most powerful force in the galaxy. "General Shin," Deho said quietly, "activate all defense systems. Full stealth mode." Throughout the solar system, humanity's hidden weapons came online. Gravitational pulse cannons that could crush enemy ships, quantum disruptor fields that could tear apart matter at the atomic level, and temporal shields that could slow down enemy weapons. The aliens had no idea that such technology was even possible. "Engineer Kang, are our ships ready?" Tae-min smiled grimly. "All stealth vessels are in position. The enemy will not see us coming." Human ships were completely different from alien vessels. Instead of massive, heavily armored battleships, humans had built smaller, faster vessels that could phase in and out of normal space-time. They could appear anywhere, strike with incredible precision, and disappear before enemy sensors could track them. On the alien flagship, Vexathari was growing impatient. "Scan the third planet more carefully," he ordered his crew. "I want to know exactly what kind of weapons these primitives possess." The alien sensors found nothing. No space stations, no orbital weapons, no sign of advanced military technology. Earth appeared to be defended by nothing more than a few primitive satellites. "Sir," reported one of Vexathari's officers, "our scans show minimal technological development. Chemical rockets, basic electronics, primitive energy production. These humans pose no threat to our fleet." Vexathari was satisfied. This would be another easy victory for the Confederation. "All ships prepare for orbital bombardment. Target their largest population centers. A few demonstrations of our power will convince them to surrender." But as the alien fleet moved closer to Earth, something impossible happened. Their sensors went completely dead. Every scanner, every communication system, every navigation computer stopped working at the same time. "What is happening?" Vexthari demanded. "Unknown, sir," his communications officer replied, fear creeping into his voice. "All our systems are being blocked by some kind of interference. We cannot scan the planet, we cannot contact the Confederation, and our weapons targeting systems are not responding." Around the alien fleet, space itself seemed to change. What had appeared empty now showed signs of massive structures. Hundreds of objects that had looked like asteroids were revealing themselves as weapons platforms. Energy readings that should have been impossible were appearing on every sensor that still functioned. "Sir," whispered the alien tactical officer, "we are surrounded." Admiral Daeho Kim's voice came over the alien communication system, calm and clear. "Commander Vexthari, you have entered Earth's defensive perimeter without permission. Your weapons are trained on civilian populations. This is an act of war. You have 30 seconds to power down your weapons and prepare to be boarded, or we will consider you a hostile force." Vexthari stared at his sensor displays in shock. The primitive world had somehow hidden an entire fleet from his sensors. Ships were appearing around his formation, ships unlike anything in Confederation databases. They moved without visible engines, generated energy fields that his science officers could not identify, and seemed to exist slightly outside normal space. "Impossible," he whispered. "How did primitives acquire such technology?" The 30 seconds passed quickly. When Vexthari did not respond, Admiral Daeho gave a simple order. "All units disable the enemy fleet. Minimal force. We want prisoners, not casualties." What happened next would be remembered throughout the galaxy for generations. In less than 10 minutes, the entire Sector fleet was captured, their weapons disabled, their ships surrounded, and their crews taken prisoner. None of the alien vessels were destroyed, but all of them were completely helpless. For the first time in galactic history, a primitive world had defeated a Confederation fleet. The galaxy was about to discover that Earth was not what it seemed to be. 3 months had passed since the Sector fleet disappeared near the primitive world called Earth. In the Great Council chambers of the Galactic Confederation, representatives from 12 different species gathered for an emergency meeting. Nothing like this had ever happened before. High Counselor Kethmar of the Zinthari Republic called the session to order. His blue-skinned features showed the concern that all council members felt. "We are here to discuss the complete disappearance of Commander Vexthari's integration fleet. 33 ships and over 800 personnel have vanished without sending a single distress signal." Around the circular chamber, alien representatives whispered among themselves. The loss of an entire fleet was unprecedented in Confederation history. Even during the great wars of the past, no force had ever simply vanished completely. Counselor Rethvara of the Sector Empire stood to address the assembly. Her reptilian features showed barely controlled anger. "The humans of Earth must have discovered some ancient weapon. There is no other explanation. A primitive species cannot defeat a Confederation fleet through their own technology." On Earth, Admiral Daeho Kim stood in a very different kind of meeting room. The captured Sector officers sat around a table, still shocked by their defeat. Dr. So-Min Park was attempting to establish diplomatic communication, but the aliens refused to believe what they were seeing. "This is impossible," Commander Vexthari repeated for the 100th time. "Your species was using chemical rockets and basic electronics just months ago. Where did you acquire such advanced technology?" Dr. So-Min Park smiled patiently. She had been studying alien languages for decades and could speak fluent Sector. "Commander, we did not acquire this technology. We developed it ourselves over the past 300 years. Vexthari shook his head violently. "Impossible. Primitive species cannot advance so quickly. It takes thousands of years to develop space-time manipulation technology. Even the most advanced Confederation species required millennia to achieve what you claim to have built in mere centuries." In another part of Earth's hidden command complex, engineer Taemin Kang was examining captured alien technology with a team of human scientists. What they discovered was both fascinating and disappointing. "The aliens have incredible energy production systems," Taemin reported to Admiral Daeho. Their power generators are far more efficient than anything we built in our early space program. But their weapons and sensors are thousands of years old in design. They have not innovated in basic technology for millennia. Dr. Yoon Hae-song, Earth's top military analyst, nodded in agreement. It appears that when the galaxy united under the Confederation, scientific progress slowed dramatically. They have been using the same basic technologies for over 10,000 years. They improved efficiency and power, but they never explored new possibilities. This was humanity's greatest discovery. While the aliens had spent thousands of years perfecting energy weapons and faster-than-light travel, humans had taken completely different paths. Isolation had forced human scientists to be creative, to find new solutions to old problems. "What about their fleet strength?" Admiral Daeho asked. Dr. Yoon Hae displayed a holographic map showing alien ship positions throughout the galaxy. Based on captured intelligence, the Confederation maintains approximately 50,000 major warships across all 12 member species. Most are concentrated around their home worlds and major trade routes. Admiral Daeho studied the display thoughtfully. 50,000 ships sounded like an overwhelming force, but he knew something the aliens did not. Earth's hidden fleet was much larger than anyone suspected. Meanwhile, in the Galactic Council chambers, the debate was becoming heated. Counselor Nextai of the Vorthon Collective was proposing immediate military action. "We cannot allow a primitive world to threaten galactic stability," Nextai declared, his insect-like features clicking with agitation. "If the humans have acquired dangerous ancient technology, we must secure it before they learn to use it properly. I propose we send the combined fleet to Earth immediately." The combined fleet was the Confederation's ultimate weapon. 200 of their most powerful warships, representing all 12 member species, commanded by their greatest military leaders. It had never been defeated in battle. High Counselor Kethmar raised his hand for silence. "Such a force has not been assembled in over 1,000 years. Are we certain this situation requires such extreme measures?" "Absolutely," Counselor Rethavara of the Sector replied. "Whatever technology the humans possess, it was powerful enough to defeat an entire fleet without suffering any casualties. We cannot underestimate this threat." Back on Earth, Ambassador Jinwoo Ryu was preparing for humanity's first official diplomatic mission. He had spent his entire life studying alien cultures and languages. Now he would be the first human to officially represent Earth in galactic politics. "Are you certain about this approach?" Admiral Daeho asked as Jinwoo prepared to board his ship. "Once we make official contact, there will be no going back to hiding." Jinwoo nodded confidently. "Admiral, we have been preparing for this moment for 300 years. Our analysis of alien psychology suggests they will respond better to a show of strength, followed by diplomatic outreach, than to any other approach." Commander Yoojin Nam would lead the diplomatic escort fleet. Unlike the stealth ships used for reconnaissance, these vessels were designed to be impressive. They would show the galaxy that humanity was not hiding because of fear, but because of choice. "How many ships are you taking?" Admiral Daeho asked. 50 vessels, Yoojin replied. "Enough to demonstrate our capabilities without appearing aggressive. Each ship represents technology the aliens have never seen before." Dr. Somin Park had been working with the captured alien officers for months, and she had learned much about Confederation psychology. "Admiral, there is something important you should know. The aliens are not evil, but they are incredibly arrogant. They have been the dominant force in the galaxy for so long that they cannot imagine any species being their equal. This was the challenge humanity faced. The Galactic Confederation was not a cruel empire, but it was an empire nonetheless. They believed that their way of life was the only correct way. Any species that joined the Confederation had to accept alien laws, alien technology, and alien leadership. "What do you recommend?" Admiral Daeho asked. "We must show them that we are their equals, not their subjects," Dr. Somin replied. "If we appear weak, they will try to control us. If we appear too strong, they will try to destroy us. We must demonstrate that cooperation benefits everyone." As the Galactic Council debated sending their combined fleet to Earth, they had no idea that human sensors were already tracking every ship movement in their space. Captain Wu Jin Li's reconnaissance vessels had mapped every major alien installation, recorded their fleet positions, and analyzed their defensive capabilities. "Sir," Captain Li reported to Admiral Deho, "the aliens are gathering ships from across the galaxy. Based on their communication patterns, they plan to send approximately 200 vessels to our solar system." Admiral Deho smiled grimly. 200 ships was exactly what human military planners had expected. The aliens were predictable in their responses to threats. "How long until they arrive?" "Based on their fastest ships, approximately 6 months," Li replied. "They are taking time to coordinate all 12 species and ensure they have overwhelming force. 6 months would be enough time for humanity to prepare their revelation." Admiral Deho activated his communication system and sent a message to the Earth Council. "All defense forces to full readiness. Diplomatic Corps, prepare for official first contact. Science Division, complete all preparations for technology demonstration. The galaxy is coming to Earth in force. It is time to show them what humanity has become." Throughout the solar system, hidden cities began to prepare for visitors. Ships that had remained cloaked for centuries powered up their engines. Defense platforms that looked like asteroids revealed their true nature, and in the depths of space-time itself, humanity's greatest achievement began to emerge from the folded dimensions where it had been hidden. The aliens thought they were bringing overwhelming force to crush a primitive world. They had no idea that they were about to discover a civilization that had surpassed them in every way that mattered. Earth was ready to join the galactic community, but as equals, not as subjects. The galaxy was about to learn that humanity's 3 centuries of silence had not been wasted. The combined fleet of the Galactic Confederation dropped out of faster-than-light travel at the edge of the Sol system. 200 massive warships, representing the greatest military force the galaxy had ever assembled, faced what they expected to be a primitive world with stolen technology. Fleet Admiral Zorthak of the Confederation Navy stood on the bridge of his flagship, a dreadnought so large it could carry entire armies. Around him, holographic displays showed the positions of ships from all 12 member species. This was enough firepower to destroy a dozen worlds. "Begin deep scanning of the system," Zorthak ordered. "I want to know exactly what kind of ancient technology these humans have found." But as the alien scanners began their work, something impossible happened. The readings they received made no sense. The third planet from the star was not the simple world their records indicated. Instead of a single planet, their sensors detected multiple versions of Earth existing in the same space, slightly out of phase with each other. "Sir," reported the fleet science officer, "the readings are confusing. We are detecting cities that exist in folded space-time, population centers that appear to be built in multiple dimensions simultaneously. This is beyond anything in our databases." On Earth, Fleet Admiral Su Young Jian received permission to reveal humanity's true naval strength. For 300 years, she had commanded ships that existed in hidden space around Earth. Now, for the first time, the full human fleet would show itself to the galaxy. "All vessels, begin phase transition to normal space," Su Young ordered. Throughout the solar system, space itself seemed to ripple and change. Ships began appearing where moments before there had been empty void. Not dozens of ships, not hundreds, but thousands. The human fleet was 10 times larger than anything the aliens had expected. Admiral Daeho Kim stood in Earth's command center, watching as the alien fleet realized what they were facing. Dr. Young Ho Bei, humanity's top physicist, was preparing to demonstrate technologies that would shock the galaxy. "Admiral," Dr. Young Ho said, "the alien fleet is maintaining a defensive formation. They appear to be scanning our ships with every sensor they have." "And what are they finding?" "Nothing that makes sense to them," Dr. Young Ho smiled. "Our ships operate on principles they abandoned millions of years ago. They focused so heavily on energy-based technology that they forgot other possibilities existed." Captain Minho Han commanded one of humanity's most advanced vessels, a ship that could exist in normal space-time or phase into dimensional gaps where alien sensors could not follow. His ship was about to demonstrate capabilities that the galaxy thought were impossible. "Sir," Minho reported to Fleet Admiral Su Young, "the alien flagship is attempting to target us with their main weapons. Should I demonstrate our phasing capability?" "Do it," Su Young replied. Minho's ship suddenly became translucent, existing partially in normal space and partially in folded dimensions. The alien weapons fired massive energy beams that passed harmlessly through the human vessel, as if it were made of light. On the alien flagship, Fleet Admiral Zorthak stared at his tactical displays in shock. How did their ship become intangible? Matter cannot simply ignore energy weapons. His science officers had no answers. The human ship had somehow shifted itself out of normal space-time while remaining visible and functional. This violated every law of physics the aliens understood. "Sir," reported his communications officer, "we are receiving a message from the human fleet." Ambassador Jin Woo Ryu's image appeared on the alien flagship's main screen. He spoke calmly and clearly in perfect galactic standard language. "Fleet Admiral Zorthak, I am Ambassador Jin Woo Ryu, representing the people of Earth. We welcome you to our solar system, but we must ask you to power down your weapons. Your ships are targeting our cities, which we consider an act of aggression." Zorthak was confused. The human ambassador spoke as if the aliens were the ones at a disadvantage. "Ambassador, you are facing the combined fleet of the Galactic Confederation. 200 ships representing the most advanced civilizations in the galaxy. Surely you realize that resistance is futile." Jin Woo smiled politely. "Fleet Admiral, I think there may be some misunderstanding. You are not facing a primitive world. You are meeting the representatives of humanity, a civilization that has spent 3 centuries developing technologies your species never imagined." To prove his point, Jin Woo gestured, and the space around the alien fleet began to change. What had appeared to be empty void now revealed massive structures. Cities existed in folded space-time, visible but untouchable by normal matter. Millions of human vessels phased in and out of normal space like ghosts. "This is impossible," Zorthak whispered. Dr. Yong-Ho Bei's voice came over the communication system. "Fleet Admiral, your species has spent thousands of years perfecting energy weapons, and faster than light travel. This is impressive, but it is not the only path. While you were building bigger guns, we were learning to manipulate the fundamental forces of reality. To demonstrate, human ships began showing abilities that should not exist. They moved through. Solid objects existed in multiple locations simultaneously and generated energy fields that the aliens could not even detect, let alone understand. Your weapons cannot harm our vessels because we exist slightly outside normal space-time, Doctor," Yong-Ho continued. "Your sensors cannot track us because we use quantum signatures your equipment was never designed to detect. Your shields cannot protect you because our weapons operate on principles you have forgotten." Fleet Admiral Zorthak tried to maintain his authority. "Even if your technology is more advanced than we expected, you are still outnumbered. 200 ships against whatever force you can muster." Admiral Daeho Kim's voice joined the communication. "Fleet Admiral, you are not facing whatever force we can muster. You are seeing a small demonstration of our capabilities. Captain Wu Jin, please show our guests the true size of the human fleet." Throughout the solar system, space continued to ripple and change. More ships appeared, and more, and more. The alien sensors, already overwhelmed by technologies they could not understand, began registering readings that seemed impossible. 10,000 human vessels now surrounded the alien fleet. "This cannot be real," Zorthak said weakly. "It is completely real," Admiral Daeho replied. "What you are seeing is the result of 3 centuries of human development. We did not spend that time hiding because we were afraid. We spent it learning, growing, and preparing for this moment." Commander Yujin Nam demonstrated humanity's ultimate advantage. His ship simply disappeared from normal space, reappeared inside the alien defensive formation, and then phased back out before their weapons could respond. "Your formation is useless against ships that can move through folded space-time," Yujin explained calmly. "Your shields are worthless against weapons that attack from multiple dimensions simultaneously. Your sensors are blind to technologies that exist partially outside normal reality. But the most shocking revelation was yet to come. Ambassador Jin Woo Ryu activated a holographic display that showed the true scale of human civilization. Fleet Admiral, what you see around Earth is not our entire civilization, it is just one world. Over the past 3 centuries, humanity has established colonies in 17 different star systems, all hidden from your sensors by dimensional manipulation technology. Our total population exceeds 50 billion people. The aliens had thought they were facing one primitive world. Instead, they had discovered a hidden empire that rivaled their own. Furthermore, Jinwoo continued, we have been observing your civilization for over 200 years. We know the location of every major Confederation installation, the strength of every fleet, and the capabilities of every weapon system you possess. We chose to remain hidden not because we feared you, but because we wanted to understand you before making contact. Fleet Admiral Zorthak realized that everything had changed. The Galactic Confederation had ruled the galaxy for millennia because they were the most advanced civilization anyone had encountered. Now they faced a species that had surpassed them in every way that mattered. What do you want from us? Zorthak asked quietly. Ambassador Jinwoo's answer would reshape galactic politics forever. We want to join the galactic community as equals, not as subjects. We offer to share our knowledge in exchange for yours. Together, our civilizations can achieve things that neither could accomplish alone. But we will not submit to Confederation authority, and we will not allow you to dictate our future. For the first time in galactic history, someone was offering the Confederation a partnership instead of asking for membership. The age of human isolation was ending, but the age of human submission would never begin. 6 months after the confrontation at Earth, President Na Yun Kim stood before the reformed Galactic Assembly. The meeting hall had been redesigned to accommodate humanity as an equal member, not a subject species. Representatives from 13 civilizations now sat as partners rather than rulers and subjects. The galaxy had changed more in these 6 months than in the previous 1,000 years. The joint exploration mission to the Andromeda Gateway has been a complete success, President Na Yun announced. Human dimensional technology combined with Confederation energy manipulation has allowed us to open stable passages to locations we never thought possible. In the audience, former Fleet Admiral Zorthak listened with amazement. He had been one of the first aliens to accept that humanity was not a threat to be conquered, but a partner to be respected. Now he commanded joint human-alien exploration, fleets that were making discoveries neither species could have achieved alone. Admiral Kyung-Soo Park, who had taken command of the new joint fleets, presented their latest findings. Using human quantum sensors and Xanthari energy detection systems, we have located 17 new habitable worlds in previously unexplored regions. More importantly, we have found evidence of other advanced civilizations that, like humanity, have chosen to remain hidden. This was the most shocking discovery of all. Earth was not the only world that had developed in secret. Across the galaxy, other species had made the same choice humanity had made centuries ago. They had watched, learned, and waited. Dr. Hai-Wan Lee, now head of the Galactic Science Consortium, explained the implications. Our analysis suggests that forced integration actually slows down scientific development. The most advanced civilizations in the galaxy are not Confederation members, but independent species that have been free to explore new ideas without conforming to established standards. The old Galactic Confederation had required all member species to use the same basic technologies, follow the same laws, and accept the same limitations. They thought this created stability, but it actually created stagnation. The new Galactic Partnership is already showing better results, Dr. Hai-Wan continued. In 6 months, we have made more scientific breakthroughs than the old Confederation achieved in the last century. The transformation had not been easy. Many alien species had difficulty accepting that their way was not the only way. Some had even tried to maintain the old system of dominance and submission, but the demonstration of human capabilities had convinced most aliens that cooperation was better than conquest. High Counselor Kethmar, now serving as coordinator rather than ruler, addressed the assembly. The humans have taught us something we had forgotten over millennia of expansion. Diversity of thought leads to innovation. Unity of purpose does not require uniformity of method. On Earth, the changes were equally dramatic. The Great Barrier that had hidden humanity for 3 centuries was finally lowered. Earth's cities, existing in multiple dimensions, were now visible to any alien visitor. Children who had grown up in hidden worlds now played in parks where alien diplomats and scientists came to learn. Captain Woojin Lee, who had spent decades as humanity's eyes and ears in alien space, now commanded joint exploration vessels. The galaxy is far stranger and more wonderful than we ever imagined, he reported to Admiral Deho. Working with alien partners, we have discovered forms of life that exist in pure energy, civilizations that live in the hearts of stars, and technologies that manipulate time itself. But the most important discovery was not scientific. It was Social Ambassador Jinwoo Ryu, now serving as Earth's permanent representative to the Galactic Partnership, explained it in a report to the human government. For thousands of years, the galaxy was ruled by the fear that different species could not coexist as equals. The Confederation maintained peace through domination. We are proving that cooperation is more powerful than control. The evidence was overwhelming. Joint human-alien research teams were solving problems that had puzzled scientists for millennia. Trade between species was more profitable when based on partnership rather than exploitation. Even former enemies were working together when they realized that collaboration benefited everyone. Dr. So-Min Park, now serving as Director of Interspecies Relations, had spent months working with former Confederation leaders to understand what had gone wrong with their previous system. The Confederation was not evil, she explained to President Na-Yun. They genuinely believed they were helping primitive species by bringing them into their civilization. But they never asked what those species might contribute. They assumed that more advanced meant better in all ways. Humanity had proven this assumption wrong. Human technology was not more advanced in every area. Alien energy systems were still superior to anything humans had developed. Alien faster-than-light travel was more efficient than human dimensional manipulation for long-distance journeys. But human approaches to problems like space-time manipulation and matter conversion had surpassed anything the aliens had imagined. The key insight, Dr. So-Min continued, is that no single species has all the answers. Each civilization that develops in isolation will find different solutions to the same basic challenges. When these solutions are combined, the results exceed what any single species could achieve. This principle was already showing results throughout the galaxy. The joint exploration fleets were discovering wonders that neither humans nor aliens could have found alone. New technologies were being developed that combined the best insights from multiple species. Even art and culture were being transformed, as different civilizations shared their unique perspectives. But perhaps the most important change was in how species viewed each other. General Bo-Ram Shin, who had spent her life preparing to defend Earth from alien invasion, now commanded joint defense forces that protected all member worlds of the Galactic Partnership. We are no longer separate species competing for resources, she explained to new recruits, both human and alien. We are partners exploring the universe together. The transformation was not complete. Some species still preferred isolation. Others maintained their old empires in distant parts of the galaxy. But the core worlds that had formed the new partnership were demonstrating that cooperation was possible. As President Na-Yun concluded her address to the Galactic Assembly, she looked out at representatives from species that had been strangers or enemies just months before. 6 months ago, humanity revealed itself to the galaxy. Today, the galaxy has revealed new possibilities to itself. We have learned that strength comes not from domination, but from cooperation. Not from uniformity, but from diversity. Not from conquest, but from partnership. The assembly erupted in approval, with sounds from a dozen different species creating a symphony of agreement. But even as the celebration continued, long-range sensors detected something that would change everything. Again, deep in uncharted space, other civilizations were finally deciding to reveal themselves. Species that had been hiding for millennia were emerging from their concealment, drawn by the news that the galaxy had learned to accept partners rather than demand subjects. Admiral Dae-Ho Kim, now serving as Earth's military advisor to the partnership, received the first reports. "Sir," Captain Lee reported, "we are detecting massive energy signatures from 17 different star systems. The patterns match advanced civilizations revealing hidden installations." Deho smiled. Humanity's greatest achievement was not the technology they had developed during their centuries of isolation. It was the example they had set by proving that different species could work together as equals. The galaxy had crossed a boundary more important than any physical barrier. It had moved from an age of dominance to an age of partnership. And this was only the beginning. As Earth cities gleamed in their multidimensional splendor, visible now to all who wished to see them, children of a dozen species played together in parks that existed across folded space-time. The future they were building together would be more magnificent than anything any single species could have achieved alone. Humanity had revealed its might to the galaxy. But more importantly, humanity had revealed the might that comes from unity, cooperation, and respect for the strength that differences can bring. The age of isolation was over. The age of partnership had begun.